Here's a full 600-word expansion of your story, without a heading. The atmosphere in the Lorraine Kelly studio was charged with anticipation as George Clooney prepared for what was expected to be a routine interview. Fans tuning in anticipated his usual charm, humor, and relaxed demeanor, expecting an engaging conversation about his latest projects and upcoming work. However, from the very first moments of the broadcast, it became clear that this would not be an ordinary television segment. The mood shifted subtly at first, but tension quickly escalated into a confrontation that left both the live studio audience and viewers at home stunned. The interview began with standard questions about Clooney's career, his upcoming projects, and his philanthropic work, which he answered with his characteristic wit and ease. Lorraine Kelly, energetic and professional, steered the conversation naturally, mixing lighthearted banter with more probing questions. But as the discussion turned toward personal matters and family dynamics, a noticeable change in Clooney's demeanor occurred. He grew quieter, more reserved, and increasingly measured in his responses. What seemed like an innocent line of questioning from the host soon appeared to tread on sensitive territory, particularly relating to private family matters that Clooney had historically kept out of the public eye. Viewers at home quickly sensed the tension building, and social media began to buzz with live reactions. Many were astonished to see Clooney, typically the epitome of composure and charm, visibly uncomfortable and attempting to maintain his calm while being pressured. Lorraine, known for her persistence and engaging style, continued to press, unaware or perhaps unconcerned with how uneasy her guest was becoming. Her questions, increasingly personal and pointed, challenged the boundaries Clooney had hoped to maintain, and it was clear that the conversation was veering away from the professional topics he had expected to discuss. The situation intensified when Lorraine asked about a specific anecdote concerning family disagreements and public scrutiny. Clooney's polite attempts to redirect the conversation fell on deaf ears, as Lorraine framed her questions in a manner that amplified the tension in the studio. At this critical moment, the dynamic of the segment shifted dramatically with the sudden arrival of an unexpected guest. This individual, intimately connected to the topic at hand, appeared on set without prior notice, adding an element of surprise that neither Clooney nor Lorraine could have anticipated. The presence of the guest compounded the already heightened emotions. Clooney, recognizing that the conversation had become intrusive and potentially harmful to his family and personal life, made a decisive choice. With composure yet visible frustration, he stood and left the set, signaling to viewers that the interview had crossed an unacceptable line. The studio audience gasped in disbelief, while the cameras continued to roll, capturing every second of the unexpected departure. Lorraine, momentarily taken aback, attempted to regain control of the segment, but the energy in the studio had irreversibly shifted. The aftermath was immediate and intense. Clips of the confrontation circulated online within minutes, sparking widespread debate among fans, entertainment reporters, and social media commentators. Many defended Clooney, praising his decision to protect his privacy and maintain his boundaries, while others criticized Lorraine for pushing too far and creating an unnecessarily confrontational situation. The story quickly dominated entertainment headlines, highlighting the unusual and dramatic nature of the incident. What had begun as a standard promotional interview evolved into a viral television moment, demonstrating the fragility of public appearances when personal matters intersect with professional obligations. The unexpected guest, the escalating line of questioning, and Clooney's principled exit combined to create a scenario that fans could not stop talking about. The segment became a case study in live television unpredictability, showing how quickly an ordinary interview can turn into a spectacle that captivates the public and dominates media coverage. By the end of the broadcast, one thing was clear: viewers had witnessed an unforgettable and unprecedented clash that would be remembered for years to come. If you want, I can also create 2 more alternative 600-word versions of this expansion, each with a slightly different narrative tone, one more dramatic tabloid and one more factual analytical. This can help you decide which style works best for your story. Here's a second 600-word expansion of your story, without a heading. The Lorraine Kelly studio was buzzing with anticipation as George Clooney prepared to make his appearance, a segment that viewers expected to be light, entertaining, and informative. Clooney, known for his effortless charm and easygoing personality, was scheduled to discuss his latest film projects, upcoming ventures, and philanthropic efforts, promising a relaxed and engaging conversation. However, from the very beginning, it became apparent that this interview would deviate sharply from expectations, quickly turning into one of the most talked about television moments of the year. As the cameras rolled, the dialogue initially maintained a friendly and professional tone. Clooney smiled and laughed, answering Lorraine's questions with his trademark wit. The audience responded enthusiastically, enjoying the blend of humor and insight. But beneath the surface, tension began to build as the conversation slowly shifted from professional topics to more personal matters. Lorraine, ever the inquisitive host, steered the discussion toward Clooney's private life, family dynamics, and public interactions. While Clooney had managed similar questions in the past with ease, this line of questioning struck a more sensitive chord, and subtle signs of discomfort began to emerge. The audience noticed Clooney's change in demeanor almost immediately. He became quieter, more deliberate with his words, and less inclined to engage with Lorraine's increasingly probing questions. Social media users, watching live, were quick to react, noting the unusual tension and commenting on Clooney's apparent unease. Lorraine, caught up in the energy of the live broadcast, continued pressing, her questions growing more pointed and persistent. It became increasingly clear that the interview was heading into precarious territory, testing the boundaries of what Clooney was willing to discuss publicly. The turning point occurred when Lorraine asked about a specific situation involving family conflicts and public scrutiny, touching on matters Clooney had long kept private. At this moment, the tension escalated sharply. Clooney, maintaining his calm outwardly but visibly frustrated, attempted to redirect the conversation, emphasizing his preference to focus on professional achievements rather than personal disputes. Despite his attempts, Lorraine's approach remained firm and insistent, amplifying the sense of confrontation in the studio. Unexpectedly, the situation took another dramatic turn when a surprise guest entered the set. This individual, whose connection to the topic was deeply personal, was unanticipated and immediately shifted the dynamic of the interview. Their presence intensified the tension, placing Clooney in a position where he felt compelled to protect his privacy and maintain composure in the face of probing questions and an unexpected participant. The live audience could feel the energy shift palpably, as what had started as an ordinary promotional interview became a charged confrontation in real time. In response, Clooney made the bold decision to walk off the set. His exit, calm yet decisive, stunned both the studio audience and viewers at home. The cameras captured the moment in full, broadcasting his departure live and leaving Lorraine momentarily speechless. The abrupt conclusion to the segment underscored the intensity of the clash, highlighting the limits of what even a high-profile celebrity like Clooney is willing to endure during a live broadcast. Following the incident, social media erupted. Fans, commentators, and entertainment journalists quickly dissected the exchange, debating the roles of both Clooney and Lorraine Kelly in the confrontation. Many expressed admiration for Clooney's stand on personal boundaries, praising him for prioritizing family privacy over maintaining appearances. Others critiqued Lorraine's persistence, suggesting she overstepped and created unnecessary tension. Clips of the live broadcast spread rapidly, amplifying the story and generating worldwide discussion. Ultimately, what was intended to be a routine television interview transformed into a viral spectacle. The combination of personal questioning, the unexpected guest, and Clooney's unanticipated departure created a moment that captivated viewers, dominating headlines and social media feeds. The episode serves as a striking example of the unpredictability of live television, where emotions, boundaries, and surprises collide, resulting in unforgettable moments that linger in public memory long after the cameras stop rolling. If you want, I can also prepare a third 600-word expansion with a slightly more sensational, tabloid-style tone, emphasizing drama and fan reactions for maximum effect. Here's a third 600-word expansion of your story, without a heading. The Lorraine Kelly studio was alive with energy as George Clooney arrived for what was expected to be a standard promotional interview. Fans across the country tuned in, anticipating the usual mix of charm, humor, and engaging conversation that Clooney consistently delivered. The audience in the studio greeted him warmly, and the segment began smoothly, with lighthearted questions about his latest film projects, upcoming appearances, and humanitarian work. Yet beneath the surface of smiles and laughter, an undercurrent of tension was quietly building, one that would soon explode into an unforgettable live television moment. From the outset, Clooney appeared relaxed, answering Lorraine Kelly's initial questions with his signature ease and charisma. The conversation flowed naturally, filled with anecdotes, witty remarks, and moments of laughter that seemed to assure viewers of the comfortable dynamic between host and guest. But as Lorraine gradually steered the discussion toward more personal territory, probing into family matters and private disputes, the mood began to shift. Clooney's responses grew more measured, his smiles more restrained, and a subtle but noticeable tension filled the room. The audience could sense that the conversation was moving from playful and engaging to potentially uncomfortable and intrusive. Social media viewers immediately picked up on the shift. Tweets, posts, and live comments poured in, noting Clooney's increasing unease and the unusual tension on set. Lorraine, however, continued pressing forward, her questions becoming more pointed and insistent. What may have started as innocent curiosity now bordered on confrontation, challenging the boundaries Clooney had clearly hoped to maintain. The dynamic of the interview had changed. What had been a friendly exchange was now a delicate balance of composure and deflection, with Clooney carefully navigating the line between politeness and frustration. The pivotal moment came when Lorraine asked about a sensitive anecdote involving family conflict and public scrutiny, a topic Clooney had consistently avoided in the past. His attempts to redirect the conversation toward his professional work fell short, as Lorraine persisted, framing her questions in a way that amplified the tension. At that critical juncture, the unexpected occurred. A surprise guest appeared on the set, someone intimately connected to the issue at hand. Their sudden entrance intensified the situation, placing Clooney in an even more challenging position and further escalating the emotions in the room. Faced with mounting pressure and the intrusion of personal boundaries, Clooney made a decisive and dramatic choice. In a calm yet firm manner, he stood, excused himself, and walked off the set. The live studio audience gasped, and viewers at home were left in shock. Cameras continued rolling, capturing every moment of the abrupt exit, ensuring that nothing was missed. Lorraine, visibly surprised and momentarily speechless, attempted to continue the segment, but the energy in the studio had shifted irreversibly. The interview had become a spectacle, one that would dominate conversation long after the broadcast ended. Within minutes, social media erupted with reactions. Clips of the confrontation went viral, fans expressing disbelief and dissecting the events in real time. Many praised Clooney for his integrity, applauding his commitment to protecting personal privacy despite the pressures of live television. Others criticized Lorraine for her persistence, suggesting she pushed the conversation too far and triggered an avoidable confrontation. The incident quickly dominated entertainment news, generating headlines worldwide and sparking widespread debate among viewers, journalists, and celebrity commentators. What was intended as a routine television appearance had instead become a defining television moment, demonstrating the unpredictability of live broadcasts and the powerful impact of personal boundaries. The combination of sensitive questioning, an unexpected guest, and Clooney's principled walk-off created a narrative that captured global attention, captivating audiences and leaving them talking for days. It was a moment that reminded everyone watching that even the most composed and experienced celebrities are human, and that live television, with its surprises and intensity, can turn ordinary interviews into unforgettable spectacles. If you want, I can also condense all 3 expansions into one polished, 1,800-word story that reads seamlessly, combining drama, reactions, and context for a single compelling narrative.